and we were shortlisted as top 40 startups out of 2,500 applicants all over India. So we were incubated in IIT Kharagpur for 1 month, and our mentor was Shish Agarwal, Mr. CEO of A1 Future Technologies. His company is one of the top 5 originating companies in the world. So to go ahead, like what we do is we help students with real-time learning and practical education by taking them to world-class companies. So our ultimate idea is any student who's studying in college can get to visit the industry based on his department, based on his interest, and know like what is happening. The only criteria is his college ID card. So that the process is he has to go to our website www.edit2020.in, select the industrial visit, what he wants to visit, enter the details, and make the payment online. So once we open the visit, like this is just the process, like how it is happening. So the student goes and registers online. These are all one-day programs to these industries. We have tied up with all big shots like Royal Enfield, Ford, Volkswagen, Bajaj, TVS Motors, Titan, etc. So they get to visit the industry on one full day with program within the industry based on the schedule given by the industry. The students receive certificates based on industry visit. So what we do is we act as a bridge between the academia and the industries. So the ultimate motive is students study better, so they get employed and perform better while they get placed. So industries also expect a very good candidate with skill because there is always a mismatch between the passed out students or passing out and they get into the industry. The skill is always not matched actually. So our go-to-market strategy is we tie up with industries basically and request a minimum of 7 slots throughout a year. And in these 7 slots will be open online, and the students from all over Tamil Nadu, like we operate all over South India, students from anywhere can register online through our website and get to visit the industry. So our once we get the slot, we intimate the upcoming visit through our channels, through our website, our Facebook page. We have more than 12,000 followers in our Facebook page. So our main advertisement, like how we acquire the customers, is through social media. So this is separate. Like we have been associated with all which are like Volkswagen, Royal Enfield, Titan, Bajaj in Pune, Nippon Paint, Asia's largest paint manufacturer. Ashok Leyland, we have tied up with Chennai plant, Hosur plant, and Uttarakhand plant, Pantnagar. So we have been recognized all over India. So as I told you, like we were the top 40 startups in IIT Kharagpur, and we were recognized as Edu 2020 was awarded as the best educational startup of 2000. And to show you like how photos with grandmothers from the world leaders in pumps manufacturing Denmark company. These students will be from different colleges or the same colleges. They will be going to our website and uploading through our website. And the second one is with Royal Enfield, third one is with Nippon Paints. So we are unique in this market. So no one else in India like does this type of services. So our competitors are like the event managers, like who facilitate industrial visits by their own contact, workshop organizers, and there are like the travel organizers who are there right now organizing facilitate industrial visits. But those are like the tools which the students go. The students go and back in the 50 or 100 to visit an industry, where we focus on only taking students of 25 for that, and they will be spending a whole day within the industry. So once the students visit the industry, they will be also getting an opportunity to get many interns within these companies for 1 week period of time based on the resumes that have been given by the students once industrial visit is over. And we also help the industry with the placement support. We were the full campus placement partner for Bajaj on March 3rd, where we recruited 50 students for Bajaj Pantnagar plant and the Target plant. And they have joined it, and we are also again organizing a full campus placement in Chennai on this August. Students from there. These are the universities like how the industries are being tied up with us. We also organize cross-community visits gratitude to the employees of the industry. We organize workshops for the students in colleges, to the industry employees like whom we are associated with. So our market is being constantly growing. Like these are the engineering colleges that is being growing from 2005 to 2013. So right now, like last year, yeah. So last year we generated a revenue of 16 lakhs, where the profit is 40%. The price ranges between 2,000 to 3,000 rupees based on one-day programs and two-day programs. So we have expected a target of 5% in the next year, upcoming year, with a target of 1.5 crores revenue. So our total addressable market is the whole India. So 200 to 300 crores market, where minimum of number of students is like if we target 10 lakh students, we will be able to achieve the target. So we are requiring a funding of 60 lakhs, and like we have invested nearly like 15 lakhs from our friends and family. And we are also given loan under the lease scheme from Tamil Nadu, as we got the award from CAI. It is loan with 25% of subsidy. So the next milestone is like we operate already in 4 cities: Pune, Bangalore, Chennai, and Coimbatore. The next state is to expand it to 10 cities. So our potential customers are through direct marketing colleges and Facebook channel partners with us. The new money will be helped us to go in marketing new hires and they expect. We yeah.
Yeah, jury questions.
Yeah, I have on that. Can you say?
Yeah, you can hear me?
Yeah, can you see me?
Yeah, I can see that. Thanks.
Yeah.
I wanted to say, you said you have a profit percentage of 40% profit on revenues of 16 lakhs with 7 employees. How did you manage to do that?
Come again?
You said you had revenues of 16 lakhs, 7 employees and 40% profit. So how does it work out?
So our expenses mainly go in. So as I told you, we have raised funds from our family and friends, and we have invested an amount, and we also raised to build up our infrastructure through loan scheme. So right now, like we expect to break even at the end of the next year. So 40% profit, like it is a margin which is being kept under each trip actually. So on the expenses which is being taken care is like the t-shirts which is being given to the students, transportation, and the industry take this as a CSR perspective. Like we organize 5% of our total profit to our industry to help them study a low income employee of that. This is being paid as an industrial recipe to the industry people.
So currently, what is your expenditure yearly? Including salary, including marketing, everything.
Yeah, that was the 40% was the net profit which we had, apart from the salaries which is being taken and the whole trip cost actually.
So your total revenue was 16 lakhs, 16.
Yeah, 16 lakhs for the past lakhs.
What is your expenditure? I want into numbers, not in percentage.
Yeah, our expenditure was nearly of 6 to 7 lakhs, and the remaining was the expenses paid, the salary which was given to the people who are working. Hello.
Okay. No further questions. How many corporates do you have?
Actually, I couldn't hear you properly.
How many corporates have you signed up so far?
So we have tied up with more than 20 industries all over Pune, Bangalore, and Chennai and Coimbatore. So to give you a brief, actually, like how this is actually happening. Just a minute, I'll share you the screen.
Okay. Is it okay to ask a question? I think
so. This is our website. So we have open to visit everything online, and any student can go ahead and register online on our website.
So what is the deal with the organizations who allow you for industrial visits?
So the deal is like we help industries with the cross-company visits, and these industries are stopped facilitating industrial visits. The only reason was they don't find it any return from the college people, and the batch size of each student who's been taken already is like 60 to 100 people. 160 to 100 students enters the industry. The industry will the industry is not working on that day. So that was the reason the industry stopped. So that was the major USP. What we did was like in per batch, like only 25 students will be participating, and these students will be wearing 20 t-shirts while entering the factory, and they will be for one full day within the industry. So the next upcoming visits is like for Stylcom. They are the world leaders in chargers manufacturing, which is on 29. So on August 4th we have for Ashok Leyland. So other industries we have opened it online. For the next industry is L&D construction. So any student can go ahead and apply online on our website in these visits, and they will be selected based on that.
All right, Mukesh. I mean, that's all from our end. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
All right. Till the time jury they take the time to give ratings for this particular startup, I would like to invite Abhishek from 91 Springboards. They have an announcement to make about one of the programs and also some benefits offering that 91 Springboard can offer to the winners today. Yes, Abhishek.
Thank you, Amit. Good afternoon, everyone. Today I'm presenting 91 Springboard here, and we have recently launched a startup support track. Recent initiative from 91 Springboard, where we work with select startups and we offer support in areas ranging from access to networks, our industry networks, mentors, access to capital, help in fundraising, enterprise connects. So what we wanted to do was partner up with Startup Summit today, and the winning startups today will offer them benefits in the Startup Support Track program. In addition to that, we'll be offering them 2 months of co-working benefits at any of our locations for 2 members. So, yeah, all the best. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Abhishek. That's very encouraging, actually, and we're delighted to hear that. Moving on, our next presentation is coming from Mr. Raj Kumar, an agri-fintech organization that is orchestrating the overall agri-value chain. And they put a mobile app and a web, and also the expertise from agriculture sector. Over to you.
Madurai. He's been very passionate about agri for the last almost a decade plus. We have been interacting quite a lot during this time. And he has done extensive research in the agri value chain, both as an investor, trader, farmer. And this knowledge has helped us to kind of start this new venture. I would request him to kind of give a little bit of background about the model.
Hello. Thank you, Raju. Good afternoon, everybody. Well, we incorporated in Jan 2017, but there was almost 5 years of extensive research, on-field research in agricultural space. We both sat one day, say around in 2012, and we decided to get into agricultural space. Then we decided, let's stick on to the job other one quit and get into the field and gain the knowledge. And Rajiv sticked on and he moved into banking sector to rural sector, rural financing, and started building network. And I quit my investment banking job. Then I became a farmer, became a trader, exporter, everything to understand the nuances. Almost I met more than 1 lakh farmers all across India, abroad, to understand what exactly the problems in agriculture. And out of this knowledge, we both developed this agri value engine that enhances value of every player in the agri value chain and its related economic activities. So what we intend to do is like, we remove inefficiencies in agri value chain as a transaction enabler. Agriculture is a highly unorganized sector. That caused a lot of inefficiencies. So once we remove these inefficiencies, obviously, everybody will put in different equilibrium. That's what we try to do with the help of technology. And our target market is every player in agri value chain. And our unique benefit, value enhancement without any incremental investment or efforts for these agri value chain players. They don't have to invest on technology or human resources. They have to do their transaction per se. Mere pay-agri intervention will enhance value for everybody. So this is the problems we understood. India is fully smaller marginal farmers. And that's why it became highly inefficient. So benefits of large-scale farming is not available due to the very small size of land holding. The other major problem and constraint in Indian agriculture is like cash-based transactions and middlemen. So we try to remove these factors and increase the efficiency so that a farmer can achieve low input cost, better logistics, better price, access to right finance, approximate warehousing facility, and technology and mechanization, and ends up with high yield and puts them in a better place.
Yeah. So what we have done through the pay agree model is basically we aggregated farmers with the help of farmer producer organization, created database of these farmers. We have around 140 different fields of information, which is split into two aspects. One is the KYC and the other one is KYF, which is basically the details about the farm which he owns. Now, after aggregating the farmers, we integrated each of these farmers through farmer producer organization with other agri value chain players, which includes the input providers, the fertilizer companies, the implement companies, the banks and financial institutions, technical companies, institutions, CSR donor funds, and most importantly, the institutional buyers, which is basically for the market linkage. Now, each of this integration would basically help the farmer, one, in getting input at a much lesser price, because here we are looking at the collective bargaining power. It will also kind of give them access to affordable funds by directly linking them with banks and financial institutions, and risk mitigation through insurance, because we will also be connecting them with insurance companies. And most importantly, of course, market linkage, because today one of the biggest issues faced by the farmers is not getting good price. Most of the profit component has been eaten away by the middlemen.
And this is the technology architecture. We have a Payagri mobile app, Payagri cloud, and a Payagri portal. So through this, the movement of goods and the weekly crop progress report that will capture almost every details about the crop, how it is growing, any symptoms for diseases, what needs to be done, recommendations from the advisors, it all reaches. Mind it, we are not allowing farmers to use this app because farmers, in Indian farmers, yet to reach that level. So we have field staff, coordinates with 100 farmers every field staff. They interact with the farmers and get all those details. And we build this big data. And of course, we have a portal that will be used by these other value chain players to access to this data and offer value. And as far as competition concerned, Rajesh?
Yeah, so competition, if you look at it, there are players, rather service providers, which offer specific solutions. Like if you look at Cropin, AgroStar, SkyMed, but what we offer is a holistic solution, which at this point of time, we are yet to find any other player giving a complete solution to the farmers.
And we are the transaction enablers here, and every single player and agri-tech service provider can become a customer of Payagri. They can log in and reach to the aggregated farmers. We can generate aggregate demands for every other players. So this is our revenue model. We have 5 stages of revenue, like farm output aggregation, e-rural distribution, agri-finance origination, nothing like this busy business correspondent model of tracking, farm input aggregation, and virtual contract farming. This is going to be our full-fledged portal and model.
1 minute left.
Yeah, we would like to give a small illustration how we generated revenue. It's a real-time transaction. We identified a farmers based on market linkage, Nambudris. They are largest FMCG group in Kerala, and they want honey, turmeric, and coriander. Through the farmers, we generated this transaction. So Nambudris saved around 10% cost. So we took certain fees from them. Similarly, the entire transaction is funded by an NBFC called Consia. We took BCP, and this is being processed by HT. We took a certain share of margin. So whatever extra value they're getting, we're sharing it from them. It's not increasing any incremental cost to anybody. So this is revenue update till date. We started generating revenue from March. We started in January. Every month we are growing, and we have done so far 5 lakhs in 4 months time frame. And we have, this month it's quite good. In another couple of months, we should be reaching 5 lakhs revenue per month. We already got a 25 crores of order in our hand from Nambudris alone. These are the partners. With this relationship, we can achieve our next year business plan. So this is good enough. Nambudris has given us already 25 crores worth of orders from the farmers, and this is Parvij Agros and FMCG. And we have, and BW is an NGO, they got 4 lakh farmer members. And Seeds is an NGO, and FPO, they got 60,000 farmer members. So we already created relationship, and technology is under process, and we'll be achieving this scale. This is our portal. These are all developed, and this is our mobile app we are developing. So basically, right for the first phase, we wanted around 58 lakhs of investment, mainly to gap the operational expenses and little bit on capex. And we are not capex intensive model; we are opex based. And obviously, this is the press release from Nambudris, and they clearly mentioned that tied up with Payagri, it's not visible, tied up with Payagri, and they given, out of this 100 crores of turnover, they procurement cost is around 40 to 50 crores, and they outsource 25 crores worth of material to us to be procured directly from the farmers. These are our, we procure
thank you.
Directly from the farmers.
Time up.
Maize.
You can open the jury questions now.
Crop which is been generated by a farm. So
Yes.
why not with soil health card?
Yes, it is there. It is part of it. We collect 140 fields of data from the farmer. That includes, as you said, KYC and KYF. The KYC is Know Your Farmer, which includes entire details about the farmer, and there will be a periodical soil health card will be generated. That's also captured.
Okay.
That's a very critical element, because if you want to do precision farming and improve the yield, soil health is critical. So we do that.
So how you collect that soil health card data? Have you linked it with
At present, we
their
tied up with
app?
Tamil Nadu Agri University. They have a research lab.
No, but when you expand yourself beyond Tamil Nadu, then how will you collect those data?
We work with FPOs basically. An FPO is a collection of farmers. Under FPO, generally 5,000 to 50,000 farmers are there. We establish such lab in every FPOs, so that 5,000 to 10,000 farmers can access to that lab. Generally, they are farmer members. So there they do the testing, and it's done.
That is not for all farmers. That is for selected farmers.
Yes,
because
selected
for that,
farmers.
government has already identified those labs where they have to go and
Yes.
check
And
their
FPO is
soils.
quite active nowadays. Their objective is to add more members. So we are not doing that work. They will do that work.
And in our model, we work only with the farmer producer organizations actually. The reason is, you can't directly interact with an individual customer. It becomes very complex. But an FPO would understand the farmer really well and becomes much more easier for us to deal with.
The other thing is they have a transaction track records with those farmers. They can identify as who is a good farmer, who are red farmers, whom should we support with credit and all those things. So FPO becomes a very critical element. Once we do all this job, their focus is only to increase the member base. They have nothing to do else.
Here you give any analytics to a farmer in
yes.
local language?
Yes, we give it.
How, through a mobile app or through help desk?
We have mobile, not app. We don't expect every farmer to have a smartphone. We create a normal vernacular messages. It could be accessed by normal mobile. For example, they'll get input reminder message. Today is 20th date of maize cultivation. You have to apply so much of N. We'll give it in as an alert message. It goes to them. These are very critical elements. Farmers, still Indian farmers are not that level to understand all the data and information and implement it. What they need is a hand-holding. Somebody to enable their transactions and put them in next level. That's all we intend to do. Here, no middleman. Almost from farmer to end user, 30 to 40% margin is captured by the middleman. So what we do, since there is no middleman, we pass on this benefit of 30 to 40% to farmer mainly and the end user, and little bit we take it from them. So all gets value out of this transaction. That's why I call it as Agri Value Engine.
Who are your competitors?
As we said, we don't have direct competitors as of now.
In Rajasthan, there is one startup like you, Khel Kalyan.
Pardon me?
Khel Kalyan in Rajasthan.
Okay, okay.
They are doing the same thing.
Oh, I see. Okay. They do the transaction enablement? Okay, wonderful.
They buy fertilizer from various sources.
Yes.
Producing.
Yeah, even Agrostar does that thing. It's a common platform for input manufacturers to farm. Agrostar, even those kind of client can become a customer of PayAgri. Because we aggregate farmers, we give them all the support to achieve all those things. We become marketplace for everyone.
What is your current cost per month and when do you think you will break even?
Yes, our current cost per month is little high because in both of us we sacrifice a lot, so we are taking into our salary. We will break even, our operational cash flow will break even in another 9 months' time. By end of March, we should be breaking even.
So what is your current cost per month?
It's around 4.5 lakhs.
And your revenues is about?
We just started making revenue, 4 months old. Last month we reached 2.3 lakhs. And
So as of now, we have made only 5 lakhs of revenue, but this is expected to grow in the coming months.
in a couple of months, because we have an order, a transaction is going on, funding arrangement is done already, partnerships are there. In 2-3 months, we should be touching 5 lakhs per month easily. But we want to build a team because parallelly we want to build a technology. That's why we wanted fund.
Last question.
And Prime Minister wanted to double the income of farmer in 5 years. We are very sure that with this model, 2 years they can achieve double the income. Number 2, this will enable entire cashless transaction in the agri value chain. No other model can create that one. Because sales, bank loan, repayment, procurement of input, everything happens through bank transactions. No cash involvement is there. Such organized, this is what missing in Indian agriculture sector. It's highly unorganized. Once you curtail this unorganization, then it could, by default, increase the efficiency. That's what we tend to do with the help of technology.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Thanks for your support.
Thank you, PayAgri team. Friends, time for jury to reflect on their scores. But meanwhile, I would like you to meet someone who, because of whom we all are here today. So, friends, it's my great pleasure to invite Mr. Jay Patel on stage, a philanthropist, a known serial entrepreneur, and the man behind NRI Startup India. Mr. Jay Patel, please put your hands together.
Thank you, Rama. First of all, thank you, everyone, for being here and making this event successful. So thank you so much. NRI Startup India. As the name says, NRIs, non-resident Indians, 20 million strong out there. And it's about starting up the whole of India. There are a lot of passionate Indians who are out there who feel for India, who want to connect with India, who want to help our entrepreneurs make difference. We ventured into coming to India for many of us who had left India a long time back. Some of our team members who were born, brought up, outside of India. We were looking for an organization with whom we can work with and how we can give back in a social side. That was our beginning coming back to India. There was a person who inspired me to, he said in Gujarati, Bharat apno desh che, Bharat deshni apne seva karwani che. That's where we began our journey 2 years back. Looking forward where we are right now, there has been approximately 2,000 NRIs that we have been able to connect with. they are willing to contribute in many ways. So we were looking into what we can do to contribute that. We felt that the future of India, that is the young generation, the entrepreneurs, what is it that we could do so that they can create employment, make difference? And it was obvious that we focus on the startup ecosystem. We had a 1-month-long journey throughout India, cross-country, Delhi to Kolkata to South, Bangalore, Hyderabad. A lot of our team members, they went rest of India, covering approximately 30 cities. This was to understand what Indian ecosystem is all about. Then thereafter, we decided that let's explore throughout the globe in terms of how the ecosystem exists in America, in Canada, UK, Germany, Singapore, so on and so forth. And we were able to bring together a lot of youngsters who have done really well. Various campuses from Google, Apple, Amazon, Microsoft, Facebook, so on and so forth. One of the things that we want to be able to do looking ahead is how do we develop stories? Not just any stories, but one heck of a story. And there are a lot of examples before us that we see in Bay Area, Toronto, London. And I think our youth has the potential. We haven't seen so many of our youth going out, setting up multinational companies, developing multinational products or services. And we feel that there is a lot we can contribute in this area. Therefore, it requires a global team, global infrastructure, global services that we can provide to entrepreneurs. So a lot of the startups that we are seeing today who have come from different parts of India, we want to be able to help take a lot of these entrepreneurs to different parts of the globe, to be able to show them that the marketplace is, of course, pan-India, but the marketplace is much, much bigger globally. And give them that overview that there may be a market that they can explore for their product or service outside of India. So that's about NRI Startup India. We are here to make difference, and we'll be happy to help a lot of entrepreneurs, who want to develop globally. Second aspect is a social side. We are making a declaration that social causes are very important and very close to our heart. Ultimately, that's what it's all about. We have announced that 50% of the profit of NRI Startup India will go to social causes, state by state, city by city, throughout India. This is one thing that this is where our journey had began with. Going further, I think I have been given a bit of a short time. So, Akshay Gunteti, founder of Startupp, we met him a year ago. I was driving through Canada in snowy weather. I got a call. Mohit Bhai told me that I need to speak with this young chap and see what we can do. And we communicated, met in Hyderabad when I came to India. What I saw was, here is a young guy, he's an unpolished diamond. He understands the ecosystem. He's connected through his Facebook and social media throughout India. Everybody knows Akshay, and Akshay knows everybody. However, he's been taken lightly. So the idea was, what is it that we can do with his idea and things that he want to do? We saw in him that he wanted to go throughout the globe. He want to do things. He want to build a great global company. So we said, okay, let's sit down and let's talk. He came to Ahmedabad, spent almost a month with us. Our team was working with him, trying to understand how we can help him. Finally, startup platform was developed. A lot of our team members, Amit Bhai put his, day and night into making this platform, be what it is today. And a lot of our other team members, we have a technical team right there in the corner. They have contributed significantly to develop this. So this was our first in-house development of a startup platform. And Akshay, congratulations, you have done really remarkable wherever you are. Now looking ahead, as one of the objectives of NRI Startup India, and this is the next, let's just call it next big thing, called Edge 196. It stands for Entrepreneurs Development for Global Ecosystem. 196 stands for 196 countries. As we see, there are a lot of good ecosystem that's out there. And I think India has a lot to learn from. And a lot of NRIs can contribute to develop the Indian ecosystem in many ways. So we felt that here in India, we are well connected throughout India. But there is a need for a global platform where we can engage with the 196 countries that's out there. And it ought to be all-inclusive. We must think beyond India. We must look at collaborating, partnerships, everything, and work with various ecosystem partners. So we felt that, okay, startup challenge here in India, we have done pretty good. Let's get out, and our motto, as it says, think global, go global. Why don't we demonstrate through our own example that we can take things beyond India? That's where comes in this global challenges. As we can see, starting, we developed 25 global clusters. Within these 25 cities across the globe, that's where within each cluster will be, whether it's 2, 3, 5, 10 countries. We will invite startups across the globe to participate in that. And if we can click on any of these, just for a moment, just to get to the details. So let's say Barcelona. So Barcelona covers the clusters of Spain, Portugal, Italy, and Malta. So we'll reach out to all the startups in these countries, and we'll say that we would like to invest in you. We want to provide the resources, capabilities of our team globally. And how do we connect this global ecosystem with India? That's the primary objective of this platform. How can we get some of the best global startups to come to India? And how do we form the bridge, the network, the mesh, so that Indian entrepreneurs and global entrepreneurs, they can be sitting in the same room, working together, helping each other. So if there is a startup from Spain wanting to explore 1.3 billion people marketplace, that is India, and vice versa. How can Indian entrepreneurs, we have a Metro sitting right here, we have Lone Yantra and all the startups that we see. Can we speed up things? Can we give it a speed and the wings to fly so that the startups can explore the market within the limited resources that may be available, utilizing the technology and the global team? That is what Edge 196 is all about. We feel that this is the next big thing that we would like to build. And we would be happy to have participation of everyone in this room to help us and make us build this great ecosystem. And I think doing this way, we want to develop our own ecosystem that is unique. Everybody aspires to be in Silicon Valley, in Bay Area. Berlin is on the horizon. There are a lot of things happening in London. Let us build our own ecosystem that is unique. It has significance. It is what everybody will aspire throughout the globe, that they want to be here in India. So that's Edge 196. So I just want to say one more time, thank you so much for coming today to make this a great success event. And if there is anything we can do to help anyone, we would be glad to do so. Thank you to all the investors, all the judges who have come here, and all the startups and ecosystem partners who have come. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Jabhay. So we get back to the pitching, and the next one we have is Access to Sell. We have Mr. Rajan Sharma. Access to Sell is basically a comprehensive B2B platform marketplace for any excess inventory management across verticals. All right, so basically inventory in any industry, all right, is what they cater to. And I think manufacturing is one industry that we can always look at, Sanjay. All right, over to you, Rajan.
Good afternoon. Thank you, Startupp and NRI Startup India for inviting us on this platform. We are India's first B2B marketplace platform for excess inventory. Excess inventory is overstock, aging inventory, your liquidation assets, which you are looking at selling off before write-off. So what we do is, we are a marketplace platform for unopened, unused, boxed inventory which is lying in warehouses, which has not yet reached the consumers, which has left the factories or the manufacturers, which has left the brand owners, has left the distributors, but has not reached the consumers. We are focused on the highly unorganized sector. This is close to almost US $30 billion opportunity. When we had this idea, I mean, our background is from manufacturing and product management side, working with brands like D-Link and Gigabyte, having been worked with companies from China and Taiwan at Foxconn or Pegatron. So we have seen this problem from both the sides. When we used to manufacture routers on a demand of 100K from the sales team, and then suddenly the demand goes down and the stocks are lying at a warehouse or at the distributor's warehouse. So we feel that there's highly unorganized sector, highly unorganized liquidation. It happens only on a word of mouth, like say, for example, a dealer in Ahmedabad, if he's got stuck with stocks, he will call somebody maybe in Rajkot or Baroda, or maybe he met somebody at a networking event in Delhi and say, "Arey yaar, thoda maal phas gaya, lega gaya." There's no platform as such, universal platform or a uniform platform where he can upload his stocks and see to it that it is liquidated. So that's what we are. That's what we have built. The platform offers a unique opportunity in terms of it is a marketplace and it's a platform. It offers a confidential way of liquidating the stocks. The buyers doesn't know who the seller is, and the seller doesn't know who the buyer is. So that's where from marketplace it converts to a platform where we take the ownership of the goods before it gets shipped to the buyer. Idea was that if I'm stuck with inventory, it would be considered a bad decision or a decision which I should not have taken, but I have taken. Somebody told, okay, Singapore scheme, I mean, you should take this kind of stock. And I took and was not able to sell out. So I don't want to tom-tom or publicize that मैं फंस गया हूँ या I have inventory. So that's where the confidentiality comes in. That's where the anonymity comes in. And the neutrality, definitely we are sector or brand agnostic. That's what we are planning to. Market opportunity is huge. I mean, we never knew, of course, we are from IT and networking and broadband side industries. But when we started working on the platform, and we went ahead and created the platform first, and we had our value product ready. And we started looking at various sectors like apparels and lighting or home electronics, etc., which, of course, as a domain, we didn't have experience. From our network, we came to know, okay, somebody's brother is into apparels, and we said, Kamlesh bhai, what do you think? I mean, we are working on this IT side on a excess inventory or overstock. So he said, Rajan, come and meet me tomorrow. We went to an apparel factory, and the guy showed us 1/4 of this kind of a room filled with jeans. He said, sir, हमारे इतने में तो ऐसे ऐसे माल फंस जाता है. We said good. So we started working on the apparel side. So similarly, we have added lighting, we have added apparels. So we are slowly and steadily adding groups and categories to our business. Opportunity is huge. I mean, invariably, the industry figures say that almost 20% to 30% inventory is just floating from the manufacturer, has not reached the consumer. So companies have various aspects of taking it as an aging inventory. Somebody writes off after 60 days. Somebody says after 90 days. Somebody has provisions to take it after 120 days. So that's the problem which we are trying to solve. Our business model is the business will acquire businesses to come on board, the buyers and sellers basically. So from a 50 million strong B2B ecosystem in India, that is almost 5 crore B2B SME, SMB segments which are present. And how do we go about it? We aim to reach about 100K business partners. Onboarding is being done. Of course, it's a very slow pace of reaching there, and hope to reach about 100 plus cities. Acquisition will be done in an offline and an online model. Of course, it requires a lot of resources to be deployed. I mean, you need to have teams in place. You need to have your digital footprint in place to ensure that the message goes around to the manufacturers, to the distributors, to the people who are holding inventories to come on board and find the solution which gives them a better way of liquidation. So we make the transaction fee percentage is based on category wise, group wise. So what happens is like we have different groups and categories starting from 2.5% to about 10%, which is a post-success fee. So that's what we charge to our buyers. And of course, this model will turn into a subscription model once we have a database of about 10,000 to 20,000 kind of partners, where it becomes an ecosystem, altogether a different ecosystem of buyers and sellers, which can come on the platform and have their sell-offs.
1 minute.
So this is our business model. Technology adoption, I mean, we have an in-house team which is doing this. We have a project leader plus 6 people who are doing the job of developing this platform. Competition, yes, we have competition, except that none of the competition is focusing on the core business of excess inventory. You have refurbished segments, which are refurbished players who are doing returns from companies, returns from LFRs, etc. You have B2B to C companies which are also doing business in this segment. Global competition, we look at the bulk is a business model which is working very, very fine in USA. You have B stock. So our business model definitely takes inspiration from these sites. They are much, much evolved than us. Because the whole ecosystem of vendors, whole ecosystem of distribution channels are involved in the USA or the West. They have a lot of features which we also want to emulate or get into that in the near future, yes. So as of now, we have industry database of about 120,000 partners with us. We have onboarded about 2,200 partners. So it's an ongoing process. Every month we are onboarding partners with their KYCs and ensuring that they are into commercially viable details are available with us so that we can do a transaction with them. We started transactions since September last year, and we have reached about US dollar 100K till June last month. And our operating margin was about 7%. We have a team in place of about 15 people.
Time up. Thank you. We can open the jury questions now.
Yeah, yes.
Jury questions?
So the payment is on your platform, the payment gateway is on your platform, or how does the payment happen?
Yeah, so once the seller uploads the products, we broadcast the message to all across this B2B, our database, and the buyer confirms the requirement, he pays us, and then the procurement starts.
So the payment is through you?
Yes.
And there's an interesting observation, they pay you a fee, what is mentioned?
So Basically
Just
to
hear me
ensure.
the question. I think there is a fee percentage.
Right.
Then there you said there is operating margin of around 7%.
Yes.
So does that mean the fee is more than 7%?
See, fee is depending on the category wise. So let us say if it's an IT product, it goes from 2.5, and if it's an accessories product, it goes to about 10%. So what happens is, to ensure that the confidentiality and anonymity is there, what happens is once the buyer confirms the requirement, we buy from the seller. So we actually buy the goods and then we ship to the buyer. So that's where we are making margin in this. Yeah. So sometime the margin opportunity will be there. Yes.
What about inspection? Who guarantees the quality of the product which the seller
Yes.
is?
We have tie-up with DTDC. So IQC happens at two places. Once when the goods are picked up from the seller side, and once it goes to the DTDC warehouse. So we have two places where the goods are inspected. And third is the seller has a clear-cut agreement with us that if the goods don't go don't go as per the requirement. I mean, let us say somebody has ordered model number N+1, and if some N-2 goes or something goes, then he can always ship the goods back. This is purely like they are buying today, and they are buying from distributors like Ingram or distributors like other distributors. I mean, the industry accepts that if something goes wrong, then they can return. Yeah.
What are the revenues till date?
We have done about $100K, $100K till June.
This is the transaction value.
Transaction value,
and
yes.
what is the
gross margins were 7%.
Fee value? What is the fee?
7%. Yeah.
That's about 60-65 lakhs, right?
Yes.
So considering you have done almost 10 months of operation with 10 to 200 people, and this is primarily B2B, right?
Right.
Inventory. Isn't that volume a very low?
Yes. Thing is, this is not something, which, I mean, the credibility has to build up. I mean, it takes time. It's like almost like any other business, but we are just trying to get it on board, online. So what is happening is we are going to associations, we are going to B2B partners and ensuring, I mean, we have done liquidations for Acer, we have done for D-Link, we have done for,
so how many transactions would this be?
Our transaction, average transaction is about 80,000 to 2.5 lakhs each, yeah.
But how do you scale it up? Because if you have to physically examine, for the quality, how do you scale it up? Yes, if you have revenues of 60 lakhs, 1 crore, 50 crores, 10 crores, but how can you physically inspect 1,000 crore worth of merchandise? Because that's where you would like to eventually go.
So to scale up, I'm here actually. So
we're not talking of the money is a commodity, right?
So scaling, yeah.
Yeah, physical inspection, execution. What I meant was, how do you execute?
See, first of all, it's B2B. So normally, it's like, for example, I am a factory owner or I am Ingram Micro. Let us say because Ingram Micro is a well-known example in our industry. So Ingram Micro is a distribution house and they ship goods every day, almost maybe worth 500 crores every day to partners across India. So basically, you have to have a similar process in place. I mean, it's B2B. You know that Dell monitors will be Dell monitors. Dell monitors, and the partner has confirmed on the website, on his dashboard, what is the quality of the goods. It's neatly packed, everything. Photographs are available with us. We have our teams in place who can go and check.
Fine, but now you're mixing. It's going to be a Tower of Babel, right? Because you'll have hundreds of suppliers from different brands, different product categories.
Yes.
This is a typical logistics issue, right? I mean, this is it's not an excess inventory. You're looking at a logistics company.
Definitely.
You are a logistics company. So you need to have the technology in your warehouses to be able to address all of that.
Yes.
Right? I mean, that your business is logistics.
Yes. So once we reach that stage, definitely we'll have processes in place. I mean, today if I'm doing it for 6 or 7 transactions monthly, and if it goes to 60, then I'll accordingly have to have a platform evolved into such a place that I do that, yeah.
Thank you. We move to the
next.
Thank
you very much. Thank you.
Meanwhile, juries are reflecting on their scores. I have a question to one of the most seasoned finance professional, venture financier, and a very, very well-known person in startup ecosystem and everywhere. When they say when you need money, you need a friend, right? So there's one friend that everybody looks up to, Mr. Mihir Joshi from Gujarat Venture Finance Limited. Mihir bhai, my question to you is, what is GVFL's exact role in startup financing in a very lay term? Yeah, can we pass on the mic from there?
GVFL, historically we have been into early stage investment. So keeping in view of now startup ecosystem is in place, many of the activities happen across the startup and many of the entrepreneurs. From one side, many of the entrepreneurs are just coming out of colleges and building their own businesses, and while many of the people who are quite experienced into their employment and having a quite learning curve in place, they wanted to get into entrepreneurship. So we see a mix of good entrepreneurship, mix good ideas, good execution capabilities at a ground level. Since we are a venture capital investor, having now the ecosystem of the incubators, angel investors, everything in place, what we now for last 2 years have been witnessing is quite robust deal pipeline, which was not the case earlier. So we have launched a startup fund, which is specifically designed to take care of the companies which are likely to scale fast when the investment is in place. So we are a Series A investor, the focus is across the sector. So anything which is scalable, large market, and wherein good team is in place, the revenue model should be in place, then we believe that the further growth, the money infusion can bring further growth. So we are quite aggressive. We have a good deal pipeline, but at the same time, we keep on prioritizing the way that we see across the deal. So any entrepreneur feels that he needs a venture capital, we welcome them. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Meher bhai. So a year before I was doing up my home, and the startup that is going to come now, I'm going to actually catch hold of them and say, why were they not there that time when I was doing up my home? Because every time trying a new look, thinking about how this would look or that would look was a very, very difficult challenge. So friends, our next startup is very, very interesting. It's called HomeZop from Pratik, Rathi and Anish. And they actually do a very interesting thing. HomeZop is a web-based platform featuring tons of looks for different styles of each room that you can change look and you can see it virtually how the place would look like. So over to Pratik and Anish.
Hi, good afternoon everyone. Am I audible? Yeah, okay. Been a long day, I know, so we'll try to wrap up some energies back. So HomeZop is basically an Uber for interior design. We are basically a technology-enabled end-to-end design platform. At HomeZop, it's 2017, and look where technology is today. You get food, cab, clothes, anything, everything you think of at the tap of your finger. And not just that, there's this American visionary, Elon Musk, who's about to put us in a hyperloop and transport us at a whopping speed of 800 kilometers per hour. That's astonishing, right? But well, I'll say what a wonderful time we live in. But holding our horses back, and in the same dimension of space and time, let's say we are trying to renovate our home. So the first thing that we do is we go online, surf a lot of pictures online, and take all of them to various contractors, interior designers, and vendors. Soon you realize all of them provide you with different quotations for the same activity. That's one. The problem just starts. You don't know the timeline, you don't know the budget, and moreover, everything, you don't even know how your home will look like. So after this back-breaking experience, the experience is very cumbersome, inconvenient, and complex.
A wonderful time to live in, Pratik. I doubt that.
Well, we are trying to solve that with homezop.com. It's a simple solution. We are simplifying things, making them affordable, predictable, and transparent. We provide all our clients with photorealistic 3D visualizations to start with, clear plan of actions, budgets, timelines, and a single point of contact to take care of everything that they require. To support that, so this is how the process looked like earlier, and it's shit scary, I know. So now you just come to us and have a happy home delivered right at your doorstep, and you know how it's going to look like. You are sure about the budgets. We provide all our clients with a login where, a slide before this. Okay, so we provide all our clients with a login where they can see everything. Not just that, our contracts are also online for the contractor side and for the vendor side and for the client side. Everything is online on one stage. Move on. That's there. So we earn through 3 revenue streams. One being the design part, where we just design the home virtually. Second being furniture standalone pieces, where we sell off customized furniture to the customer. And third being a complete end-to-end design and execution project. So in all of these 3 streams, we earn about 40% of gross margins and 20% of net margins. Now my friend Anish will take care of the business model and explain our asset-light model to you.
Thanks, Pratik. Good afternoon, everyone. So here's talking about our business model. Here is how it look like. So ours is basically an asset-light marketplace model wherein we leverage all the services, the skills, and the expertise of local vendors, designers, and suppliers, and and standardize the whole experience. We don't pile up any of the inventories, nor do we buy nor do we buy any of the products or materials. So to sum it up in a layman's language, what we do, we aggregate contractors, vendors, we aggregate the products, customize it according to the customer's requirement, and from there on, our in-house expert is the single point of contact with the customer, and thus makes the whole process streamlined and a hassle-free process. Down. Okay, talking about our growth. So we started off 7 months back with almost 25 lakhs, and we have clocked almost 1 crore and 60 lakhs since the past 7 months. Additionally, we have done almost 20 plus projects and 5 more in the pipelines. Now this growth, thankfully this growth has been possible due to our cost-effective marketing strategies that we have employed. And those include YouTube tie-ups, which have YouTube tie-ups with famous YouTubers, and that has helped us reach views of almost more than 15 lakhs in YouTube. Also, additionally, we have worked on our SEO front. This has helped us reach out to a wider audience, and this in fact has helped us generate almost 700 plus leads and 7,000 plus weekly visitors on our website. Okay, the market opportunity. Trust me guys, the market opportunity is young and beautiful. It's currently the Indian home interior design market is expanding exponentially at an astronomical rate. So by the end of 2018, it's expected to reach almost 45 billion in India, out of which 600 million would itself be in the Delhi NCR region. However, the main talking point would be the shift of customers who wants to refer online is increasing, and those would be increasing at the rate of 7 to 8% by 2020. The competition, here comes the main thing. Okay, as you have looked, okay, we provide a customized end-to-end solution. Our main competition at this point of time, that would be for the next 3 to 4 years, would be the offline unorganized sectors. And this includes any small interior designing firms, freelancers, or architectural firms. Now, to come across the point, this unorganized sector, that is, it's almost more than 99% of the whole market. So what we want is, once the customer comes in online, okay, it should be a true end-to-end solution rather than the unorganized front that's existing right now.
1 minute left.
Yeah, talking about online competitors, we have Livespace and Foyer, who are into furnitures, but then they do have they do carry just the soft shell working. However, there are some e-commerce furnishing platform, that is Pepperfry and Urban Ladder, but that's not what the customer wants. A customer wants an end-to-end total solution.
So we are a striking team of 9 people, including both the co-founders. As I said, it's an asset-light model. One being the admin guy, and other being design experts. So me, I have a experience I've been a site engineer with one of the reputed firms. Then I started my manpower business in 2012. It's autonomously doing about 3 crores in revenue every year. Anish has, on the other side, has a managerial experience of 6 to 7 years, and he recently scored 760 in GMAT and got calls from best universities in the world, including Harvard. So that's how the pictures to reality promises. That's a 3D render, and that's actually executed on site. So the vision is to expand and do 300 happy homes, grow the team size by 7, and grow to other metros and 40 crores in Series A funding. Well, it's not the time to count right now, but partner us on with this, and hopefully we'll make it good together. Thanks a lot. Thank you for your time, guys.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you. Jury questions?
See, as I said, sir, our model is asset light. We only have one guy in-house. That's the design expert. Everybody else, we are just aggregating. So with time, we'll learn the tactics in Delhi NCR only, how to qualify vendors and all that. And we are backed by technology at every step. So once we are going to create a database of them, then a single point of contact, we just need to create a single point of contact, and that's all we have to do. So it's a easily scalable model.
That's why, that's our main priority.
For design, how you provide options to the customers?
Right. For design, I'll tell you. Design is, we've got 1,000+ bespoke looks on our website as well, and otherwise a normal customer has ideas in his mind also. Otherwise, our designers can go to him and understand his design taste by giving him reference pictures, and we'll get to know his taste, and soon we can provide him with the exact design that he wants. And once the 2Ds are done, a photorealistic 3D is created based on that.
So our basic idea is to create this model on a scale. So how, like us sir asked about the design. So what we are working on right now is to have a collection of all the data of any customer, put it in the computer, feed it in, and then we would automatically be getting what all designs would be there. It would be just a work of algorithms and all of the stuff.
Anybody saves a favorite look, we get to know it in the back end. So yeah, it's there.
Just a question which is a little different from what maybe you expected. Why did you write GMAT?
So I had written it last year, but just so that I thought, okay, fine, maybe MBA would be a better option.
Then home jobs.
Yeah, then Pratik came, Pratik came in, he told me, okay, fine, let's start this off. And I told, okay, fine, I think because ultimately the main aim is to learn. So I thought, okay, I would be learning more from.
What is the real technology you are using? I mean, what is the differentiator in terms of technology?
Right. See, in our platform is technology enabled because the end product is on ground. So we are backed by technology, and we are planning to create with this round of funding, we are planning to create a 3D visualizer where right now we take 2 hours to design a 3D. With that 3D visualizer, we've got clear plan of action sketches ready. So we can do it in 15 minutes of time. So that's how technology is going to help us. We can virtually show people right away.
That's precisely I want to know. What is the technology?
Right. I didn't get the question, sir.
Sorry. The question was, what was the technology you're trying to use? You kept on saying technology.
Right.
What is the technology?
So for that, we've got Mr. Ravi Suhag on board. He's one of the greatest hackers. So we are in talks with him. So as soon as we raise this round of funding, so he'll be on the board as the CTO of the company and take care of all that.
Right. No, sir. I would just.
So we are, because our model is different. Our model is asset light. We're not working as an interior designer, not catering to separate parties. We are bringing a whole lot of transparency in the experience where earlier it wasn't there. So everything is visual. You can visualize how things are going to be. Everything is online from the moment the person comes on. So it's never like, it's not a hidden experience. He gets a taste of everything. He can go in that budget. So that's sorted for him.
Yeah, additionally, I would like to add that, okay, fine, once you are with an interior designer, the budget, it actually shoots up. With us, it's never the case. Only if there is a change in the order, only then we would be commending, we would be changing, rectifying it accordingly. However, for us, all the prices, everything is transparent. That's the main thing. Why people would want to shift online for all this.
Last question.
Have you studied the number of companies who have gone and done very similar things to you, and what are the challenges they faced?
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Yes, sir. We had surveyed it accordingly, and yeah, the main thing would be, okay, if not funded right, our competitors would definitely be having a huge market by 2020. That's one of the threats that we are facing. The second one would be, yeah, using technology, transforming our technology on the vendor platform. That's an issue as of now because, okay, we are not sure how many of those vendors would be ready to use it on hand. So that's one of the threats that we are using, that we are having right now.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
We'll move on to
Thank you,
next
sir.
startup.
Thank you.
Thanks, Pratik. Now, in terms of pitches, we only have one last one, and then we have a showcase of one investment that we've done in the last month. So that gentleman, Startupp is not going to pitch for funding, but he's just going to showcase about his product. But before that, we have one, which is the last one for the pitches, which is WhatsApp Live. And WhatsApp Live is basically what they bring basically through WhatsApp Live is a base of establishments and service providers who represent what's happening in their city. All right, so I would like to invite Gaurav for that.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Great. So good afternoon, everyone. I represent WhatsApp Live. I'm Gaurav Luthra this side. A platform, we are a lifestyle media platform which started in 2013 end. So it's been 3.5 years. We started from WhatsApp Gurgaon, and right now we're into 5 cities, which is Delhi, Noida, Hyderabad, Kolkata, and Gurgaon. So an easier way to understand our business model is we are an online version of Ahmedabad Times or Gurgaon Times or HT City for that matter. Anything or everything interesting to do in your city, you'll find it on our platform. So be it places to dine out, events, parties, leisure, wellness, we are a complete city guide for the same. Now, before I move ahead, I'd like to highlight a few important things, the highlights of last month. The first highlight is Times of India in Gurgaon and Radio Mirchi in Hyderabad approached us to market one of their events on our platform because they realized the kind of following that we have on our platform. Second important highlight was we did campaign of FBB, Femina Miss India, India Bulls, and also IDBI Bank across 3 cities, which was Gurgaon, Hyderabad, and Kolkata. And the third one was we started a series of events which will eventually be our IP events, which was a beer pong event in Delhi and also a pub crawl event in Gurgaon, which was attended by more than 100 events and a successful event. Now what we do, so basically, we tell you about what's interesting in the city. The younger generation or the upcoming generation, they believe in this philosophy of YOLO, you only live once. So they want to know about anything exciting about the city. So it may be as something as best butter chicken in the city, or it may be ladies' night in town, or it may be best spa to experience, or new restaurants in the city and all. So our idea is anything and everything which people search about the city, you should find it on our platform. And that's what we do. Why we are here at the first place? We are here at the first place because people, and like I said, people in the age group of 18 to 35 especially, are moving away from the traditional media of print and magazines. The younger generation would not watching television much, or they would not be going through papers much. All they'll do is they'll browse through the mobile phone, or they'll go through their desktop and find out information. And our idea is anything, everything which they search about their city, they should find it on our platform. That's wherein we come into the picture. Now, how we go about it? We create a lot of interesting viral content. This is an interesting story wherein we had highlighted, created a story of an unsung hero. She was a dentist who's a lady superbike racer. We covered her in our platform on 6th of December, which then she was covered by Times of India on the front page after a month's time, and she was facilitated by so many other organizations after that. Now, our aim is we want to be the largest online city media for every city that we enter. So most of the events that happen in the city, be it India's largest vintage car rally, Salsa Festival, Food Festival, TED Talks, Josh Talks, be it an I Am Kolkata annual fest, be it a food festival in Kolkata, or be it a recent Desi Warrior, Arijit Singh event, all of them want us to be there as a media partner of the event, and a lot of them, they end up paying out also to market their events on our platform. This is what I was talking about in terms of events and all. A lot of media companies have created their event IPs, which is a major revenue generator for them, and we are also going on the same lines. So we are doing a lot of lifestyle events, be it we want to do awards also, which will be a once in a year lifestyle awards. We've done a beer pong competition already. We are doing a bigger one, which is for startups, which is called a Startups Beer Pong Challenge. We already roped in Harley Davidson as one of the sponsors because Harley Davidson through us wants to target an age group of 25 to 32, for which buying an Harley is an aspiration. Now, how do we earn revenue? There are three basic ways through which we are generating revenue right now. The first one is branding and marketing. A lot of hotels, restaurants, bars, startups are already, giving us money to advertise on our platform. Why? Because there's a huge amount of people that follow our content. And if you go on Google, a lot of times you will see our links on the top when you search about things to do in Gurgaon, Delhi, Noida, Hyderabad, and a lot of cities. So they are one-time packages and they are monthly retainership packages. Apart from that, we are also now getting into venue and experience booking. What we realized was, through us, people were booking a party for 50 people, 100 people, 500 people also. So it was an amount of revenue which was being generated, which was anywhere between 20,000 to 5 lakh rupees revenue, which was going to venue partners through us. So we thought there are already some people who are trying to do venue booking, which is already an extended business line for us. So why shouldn't we do that? So that's a business line which we have started exploring. The second major business line is, like I said, events. Now events are of two types. One is creating our own event signature properties. Second is doing events for brands and all. Now, when I talk about doing events for brands, I'll give an example. So Wendy's opened up a new outlet in Gurgaon on Sona Road. They wanted to create a pre-launch buzz for the same, and they approached us for the same. So we created a contest around the same, and we did the pre-launch marketing for the same, which we've done it for a lot of other brands also, doing the guest list management as well.
2 minutes.
Now the third major line is membership and subscription fee, which I'll talk later about. Now this is the current metrics starting from October 2013. Right now we've got around 20,000 daily active users. We reach out to around 8 million people every month on social media, out of which around 10%, which is around 8 lakh people, engage in our comment, which is liking, clicking, commenting, and sharing and all. And we have around 5 lakh people following us across different social media platforms. Now we've got clients across major industries, and these are all paid clients who paid money to be on the platform. So be it people from leisure, restaurant, hospitality, lounge bars, startups, and also brands like Uber, Samsung, Oppo, Decathlon, who've done campaigns with us across multiple cities. Because what we do is influencer marketing, so we would be the largest influencer for them in a particular city.
1 minute.
So this is the team right now. So I did my MBA from IFT in 2008. We've got a good board of advisors on board. A batchman from IFT, then Thani, who's a socialite in Delhi. Then a CTO and MC and also a CEO. Now this is the competition analysis. Without being being the last entrant in the industry and without having taken a single funding, we have the second highest traffic in the industry, and our traffic is around 600,000 users per month. Our growth projections, we did a revenue from 35 lakhs last year without funding. Without funding, we'll be doing 1.1 crores this year itself. And we are going 3 times on a year without funding. Now, we are looking to raise somewhere around 50 lakh rupees for a dilution of 8 to 10%. $300,000 was a figure for the horizon of next 1.5 years, in which we wanted to expand to 15 more cities. The next round of expansion would be for all the major cities like Bangalore, Mumbai, Chennai, Hyderabad, Jaipur, Dehradun and all. Our long-term mission is we want to be the online version of Time Out. How Time Out used to be the world's largest media brand in terms of magazines and all, we want to be in the same space in online field.
Yeah, thank you. Time up, yeah. Jury questions?
Yeah.
And your business is getting ad revenues from your portal and holding events, am I right?
Yeah.
These are the two revenue sources.
Yeah.
Are you doing some native advertising?
So no, we're not doing native advertising.
So considering the fact that if you look at any of the larger players, almost 60% plus of the revenues come from native advertising. That's
but
where
I
the growth
believe
is.
that destroys the experience of a person when there's native advertisement coming on the platform. We already have people who are clients who are ready to pay us for campaigns or for different social media marketing and all. So native advertisement, I believe, destroys the experience of the same.
If you look at LBB, look at any of the larger ones.
LBB is also not too much into native advertisement. They are mainly
So
charging.
in your head, are you more towards what space, what do you think?
So the space is, for us,
because considering advertising revenues are very minuscule, right?
No. So all the revenue that we are doing right now are for the paid campaign. So like I said, it was 35 lakhs rupees last year. This year we are already touched around 6 lakh rupees of revenue in last month itself. So brands from, so our average ticket size revenue till 1.5, 2 years back was 5,000 rupees per client per month. It has risen to 15,000 rupees per client per month now. It will rise further to, it can rise further to.
You're in the lifestyle space, boss. I mean, if you're in a serious space, I would have thought, okay, you would say, I don't want to compromise on editorial. In lifestyle, which is a light news space, why wouldn't you go native?
But sir, then we are already making money from the...
How much money is the question? Will you continue to scale only on advertising is highly debatable.
No, but see, the thing is, Abhi, we haven't even touched the mass market that is there and also. It's only now that we started going to different industries or touching different industries and all. I'll give you an example. For one, so the 3 campaigns which I was talking about, so for FBB, Femina Miss India approached us to put us one of their Facebook video on our 3 pages and all. They paid us 10,000 rupees per page for just for putting a video and all. So they are good. There's good money which is available for influencer marketing campaign itself. So I don't need to go to native advertisement route for the same. Thank you.
Meanwhile, juries are reflecting on their scores and giving it for final compilation. I have a question to one of the very, very good friend coming from core manufacturing industry. The best critic I have for my DNA articles, though I'm missing those comments these days. I couldn't have got a better platform to complain about it, Sanjay. So, Sanjay Desai, my question to you, Sanjay, is you have been a core manufacturing person ever since. How do you see a seamless transition of technology in those kind of processes which are core manufacturing? Can we pass on a mic?
Rama, very difficult, because the problem is that in the startup ecosystem, if you look at what's happening, very few startups happening in the manufacturing area.
Very true.
Mainly because of the initial funding that is required, because if you're going to make a prototype, the amount of money that is required, and the prototype doesn't do anything, you need to market it. Sure. The easiest way is what currently is happening. But having said that, my biggest, I'm excited about Industry 4.0, and what's been discussed all over the world right now is the 4th industrial revolution that's coming forth. And with that, lot of things, the technology will be pulled into the manufacturing. The IoT will be exploited to the fullest. Sure. We are still getting there. Western world is already there, but if someone were to actually deploy technology back into the manufacturing, the large scales are pretty much up there, the medium scales are there, the laggards are the small scale or the tiny. So there is a big wide open space where if something on that front is being translated down, maybe you can have a BYJU'S for sector-wise manufacturing, right? Because the large-scale companies can hire consultants, do a specific
and
programs.
they also have money.
They have the money. But if a BYJU'S for really tiny and small-scale in vernacular languages opens up, let's say a fabrication unit, right? So there are a lot of small fabricators. But if they have, because everyone is on smartphone, if they can download and put it up and their workers can see it. So that kind of push, or maybe an education. The medium and the large have it all. The problem with the SME is small scales. And India boasts about this a lot, that we are a large, small manufacturing segment.
True.
But if you're going to neglect that, I don't think the goal is achieved. So education.
I think we're far from it, actually.
We are very, very far. We are very, very far. So someone on the entrepreneur should think about it. That how to deploy the IoT into a small scale.
So all the startups sitting here, please think about it. And IoT being implemented in small scale is going to be a big revenue churner and great opportunity for everyone. both sides, I think
Yeah,
it
it's
will be a great
it's
benefit.
win-win. It's a win-win.
It's not easy. It requires a lot of hard work and study of each industry segment-wise is a Herculean task, but I'm sure there's always an opportunity. But you see, if ever, like you think that there's any possibility of I'm not saying we will be there, but we start at least walking in that direction. A kind of
There has to be a
silver
change.
lining.
There has to be a change. It will happen. You know, driverless car was a imaginary thing. It's happening.
True.
But Mr. Gadkari said we won't have it in India because of employment issues. I don't know. So, but I'm hopeful. I'm hopeful that in the manufacturing segment, automation is going to leapfrog. Is going to leapfrog.
Great.
Because I don't think industrialists are now concerned about employment because they have been held at ransom for a pretty long time for lack thereof.
True.
Right? So, you know, we are surprised that how can we say that there is unemployment? Where every sector you go to, they are willing to hire the laborers. But where are they?
Hire the labor and retaining them as well.
Yeah, it's a big problem.
That's another issue.
So how long will you wait, right? So one day you're going to push it all out and say, okay, automation.
True. Goes without saying. Thank you so much, Sanjay. And meanwhile, when your scores are being compiled, I would like to invite Mr. Amber from Trendline. It's not a pitch, it's a showcase of his product. Amber from Trendline.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Amber Pabreja, and I'm from Trendline. I'm the CEO of Trendline, and the other co-founder is Devi Yashodharan. The problems that we are trying to solve is in the equity market space. Essentially, there are three big players in the equity marketplace. One is the individual investor, personal advisors, and the brokerages. And right now, there is no symbiotic relationship between the three of them. In fact, the relationship is very conflicting because they have very contentious their incentives are not aligned with each other, for want of better word, and that is what we are trying to solve. So this is an ecosystem where all three of them can come together and increase the equity mindset that is there in India. We're going to just quickly go through the products we've already built and the responses we have gone, and if we have time, we can cover the roadmap. I am a graduate of IIT Kanpur. I did my master's from there. I have a long years of industry experience in tech. The other co-founder, I am Calcutta alumnus and a Shevening fellow. She has a bunch of experience in strategy, marketing. She ran Nandan Nilekani's campaign, election campaign, and also Chavan's campaign. She was also a founder member of the Cafe Coffee Day strategy when they were rolling out the app. The app currently has about 4.5 million downloads. This is the target marketplace of the space. There are about 28.2 million Demat accounts in India. Out of that, 9.8 million investors traded online in FY 2017, that's last year, March 2016 end. And these individual investors who traded online did transactions worth of $150 billion only on NSE alone. So if you combine NSE and BSE, it was a trade of about $200 billion. To give a sense of numbers, when you hear Amazon and Flipkart talking about their GMVs during the Diwali day, that's about $500 million. That's their peak GMV. That much transactions are done in equity space alone by individual investors trading online. If you count the F&O space, these individual investors trading online do transactions of about $1.7 trillion a year. If you look at the retail investment services space, there has not been a platform innovation since some time now. Value Research Online has been there since 1990. Money Control was founded in 1999. And since then, there have been robo-advisory platforms like Scriptbox, Capital Mind, Funds of India, etc. But as such, no platform revolution has happened in India post these guys. And that is where we come in. We've got good overall growth. We've been growing at about 30% month on month, purely by organic means. We are not spending much on our advertising cost. We are close to about 700,000 monthly page views. We have 5 products live. Depending upon the time, I'd like to show you some of them. So our USP is that every financial data, be it text, be it numbers, be it collated data, be it shareholding pattern, be it bulk or block deals, any kind of number hidden behind any textual or a table field is modified into structured data, which can be used to create dashboards and your own queryable screener. To give you So I'll just talk about, the focus on user delight. To give you a sense, these are real people. So Trendline.com, best platform scanner on market without fee, beats Capital Line, 1.5 lakh annual subscription. That's where we want to be. At the bottom, there is an email which talks about, I chanced upon it recently and have been using it regularly. And this is better in usefulness for an investor than Money Control and others in the market currently. This email was written to us unsolicited by the ex-COO of Network 18, who was actually in charge of Money Control. So coming from a ex-COO of Money Control, it means a lot to us. I'll try and sort of pitch my incentive into because there's so many thought leaders over here, showcasing the product actually would probably take us far. So these are popular screeners. We have screeners in pre-made screeners in every section. But what the power of the platform is, you can create your own screener. So these are popular screeners which have been created by users on the right-hand side. Let me show you the first one, for example. So this screener talks about the stocks, banking stocks, which are increasing in NPAs, in GNPAs, and decreasing CASA. So these are not the stocks that you should be invested in. And this has been made by making a query like this. Okay. And so I don't know whether the internet works or not. So you can modify the query, you can write your own query, and then you can, for example, save it. So what this does is, it gives user control over what they want to sort of query and save those queries for later use. We have about 250 ratios, and we are the only screener in the world which can do both fundamental, technical, as well as analyst ratings, price volume, shareholding patterns, and so on and so forth. So for example, this screener talks about high analyst ratings with at least 20% upside. So we have bots which are capable of understanding sitemaps, RSS. We have bots which are capable of understanding pages with tables, go deep inside the PDFs and understand whether it's a buy report, sell report, find out the price targets, and give you insights like this, essentially. So if you look here, every report is tagged, whether it's a recommendation, upgrade, downgrade. And if you go to each one of them individually, you can look at the PDFs. We go and crawl over 35 brokerage analysts, and we have reports from all of them. The other interesting thing that people use Trendline a lot is to essentially do their tracking. Retail investors don't have time to spend more than 10-15 minutes every day. And this newsfeed essentially gives them a one-stop solution to track everything that happens to their stock. So once you make a watch list or a portfolio and trend line, what it does is it gives you a clustered news along with insights about what is happening with your stocks. So for example, this is my newsfeed. I track LIC Housing Finance, so I will not miss the results update. I follow ICICI Bank. So if you look at this, the news is clustered together. What happens is that all these news items are sort of similar, and so you will not have to scan 9 news items. That news items will be given to you together. Along with that, there are insights generated. So for example, IDFC banks, FIIs have increased their shareholding in FII bank, in IDFC bank, and so on and so forth. The other dashboard we have is, for example, the results dashboard. So this is for the results which are being announced for the June quarter. And what you'll see is that as far as the losers are concerned, pharmaceutical is a major loser as far as results are concerned. And 8 out of 11 results have been announced are actually negative. If you look at each one of them, it'll give you an idea of how these stocks have performed as far as their revenue growth, etc. are concerned. So you can't just track stocks and sectors and interests on our platform. You can also track superstar portfolios. So for example, if you track Dolly Khanna would come in your newsfeed. And this essentially, this feature gives you a bird's eye view of what people like Dolly Khanna are buying every quarter. So for example, he or she has increased their stake in Akash Chemicals. If you look at, these are released every quarter, but what you want to know is what they are doing on a day-to-day basis. And so if you go and track their bulk and block deals, again, you can set, if you follow Hitesh Jhaveri, this will come in your newsfeed. So if you look at it, this information will be available to people only after some time. But what you're seeing over here is that Hitesh Ramji Jhaveri, who's a very big investor, has been selling Sherwani Industrial Syndicate. So if you were following the stock, if you had Sherwani in your watch list, you'll automatically get this information in your newsfeed. I still have time, so I'll just continue talking about. Sure, absolutely. Absolutely. The reason why we wanted to show you that capital line thing was that that is our monetization strategy eventually. So whatever tools we are building it for power users. And then we are dumping it down for a retail investor. Right? Our long-term goal, as we discussed earlier, was to have a symbiotic relationship, inculcate a symbiotic relationship between the 3 stakeholders. And so currently, there is a problem of access for not just retail investors, but also personal advisors. Personal advisors are limited in their reach. They currently disseminate information on WhatsApp. Everybody claims that they made 60% last year. Everybody claims to have the best stock picks. Ideally, we want to have a solution where a personal advisor who is doing advice in pharmaceutical does advice in pharmaceutical. A personal advisor who can advise people over 60 for their retirement planning should be only doing retirement planning. And we want to have a platform where individual investors will have a choice of personal advisor according to their needs. They will be able to parametrically decide how good or bad a personal advisor is based on our reliable metrics. We will be the neutral platform. We will track their performances. We will track their recommendations, and then provide an interface and a platform for both the personal advisor and the institution and the individual investor to reliably talk to each other. Simply because a personal advisor gives an advice doesn't mean that it is taken. A person applies that advice or buys that stock only once they get confidence in it. And we will be the neutral platform. We'll provide a closed group format where people can talk to the personal advisor and each other, ask questions, and simply by reading the answers of those questions, you get confidence to actually take that advice. So as far as the revenue streams are concerned, the B2C platform, the screeners, for example, there are companies like Stockopedia which charge about $200 from individual investors. We are currently giving it all free. What we want to charge is, so when Gmail entered the email platform ecosystem, not only did they provide an excellent UI, they also gave 2 GB free. And they did not charge for any of that. But that doesn't mean that Gmail as a platform doesn't make money. It makes a lot of money. And so whatever we have on the platform right now remains free. We will start charging people for over and above these features. So for example, one of the features that we're talking to the 3 top brokerages out of 10 in India is that they'll be not only able to just make screeners, they will be able to automatically execute those screeners every 15 minutes and then get an alert so that they can track all 4,000 stocks, not just their strategies. So they will get an alert only when a stock enters or exits their strategy. So essentially you build strategies, you build multiple strategies, you monitor all 4,000 stocks in a parameterized way, and then you only get an alert when some stock goes weak or goes strong, not just based on fundamentals, but on technicals as well. That is from the perspective of B2C, the personal advisory and the subscription model for advanced features. And as far as the research analysts are concerned, we will be the first platform when we launch this feature in about 6 to 8 weeks, which can allow you to do strategy backtesting. A screener, wherever you make it right now, is forward-looking. What you will be able to do is that you will be able to click a button and it will backtest your strategy over the past 5 years and tell you this is what you would have made if you had deployed this strategy 5 years ago, 4 years ago, 3 years ago, and so on and so forth. And that is what we want to charge for, not the current screener system. To get to a space where you have good personal advisors on your platform, you need a certain corpus of individual investors. And by giving these tools for free, giving this entire platform for free, what we're trying to do is to build trust and get that corpus of individual investors on our platform who visit us not just every month, but probably 2 or 3 times a week. And then the discovery of a personal advisor becomes incidental. Thank you. That's all I have. Thank you so much.
Yes, absolutely. Wonderful. Thank you so much. And as I promised when I began, and Rahul, as you promised me and everyone, that we're looking forward to hear from you something about India Network and a little more about you and the journey. Over to you, Rahul.
I think about 3.5, 4 years back, I was in Ahmedabad at the IIM Ahmedabad campus. I was running my startup called Indian Roots, which was about selling Indian products to Indians outside India, the global Indian. And I have a mentor here called Professor Piyush Kumar Sinha. And Professor Sinha is the head of retail at IIM Ahmedabad, works with a lot of startups. And his wife, Mrs. Jyoti Sinha, she runs a foundation called Kamdhenu, which works with artisans. And they had a small exhibition here in Ahmedabad. So they took me there. And I met this lady artisan from Bhagalpur. And she had created this beautiful sari, which had the entire Ramayana hand-painted on it from the first scene till the last scene. And I was blown away when I saw that sari. I said, like, wow. I said, कितना time लगा आपको ये बनाने में? She said, 4 महीने लग गए भैया. I'm like, okay. एक साड़ी बनाने में 4 महीने. बोले, हाँ, पूरा हाथ से बनाते हैं. I said, आप कितने में बेचते हो इसको? She said, 4,000 रुपए में. I was like, आप 4,000 रुपए में बेचते हो? She said, हाँ, 4 रुपए. I said, why? क्यों बेच रहे हो? बोला, इससे ज़्यादा कोई देता नहीं है भैया. And then I looked at that sari and I realized that that fabric would not last for 4 months. Okay. And I told Professor Sinha, I said, this is such a beautiful piece of art. Why don't we do something about it? That's what Indian Roots is all about. So we took this bunch of artisans cluster, we shifted them to Ahmedabad. And we gave them mentoring and guidance from professors of NID and IIM. And we gave them a beautiful Chanderi sari and worked with them. So crunched the time of making one sari from 4 months to 45 days. And the first piece they made, I took it back to Delhi and I showed it to Dr. Pranay Roy and Mrs. Radhika Roy. NDTV was my partner in Indian Roots. And Mrs. Roy had tears in her eyes. She said, this is such a beautiful work of art. I said, ma'am, how much do you think I should sell this for on Indian Roots? She said, at least 1 lakh rupees, minimum. Dr. Roy said, nahi Rahul, 1 lakh would be too much. 50,000, it will sell like hotcakes. So we got a few saris made. We ran this beautiful campaign. And we put in a lot of resources to create a great campaign. And we put this sari up for sale on Indian Roots. We sold 4 so far. And this is a platform. On Indian Roots, I've sold 1 designer shawl worth 19 lakhs online. We used to routinely sell a Sabyasachi lehenga for 3.5 lakhs. People would be like dying to buy that. But we could not sell 1 artisanal product for 26,000 rupees. The tragedy of India as a country is that, with all due respect, most Indian ladies are very happy to pay 3.5, 4 lakhs, 5 lakhs for a handcrafted, handmade handbag from Italy because it says Louis Vuitton. But will bargain with me to pay 26,000 rupees for an artisan-made product. I'm a Bombay born and brought up boy. I've spent all my life in Bombay. And then I married a Delhi girl and moved to Delhi 17 years back. But it's only when I started Indian Roots is when I started traveling across India. And I discovered I did not know my own country. You know, during the Indian Roots journey, I've met fabulous people who are truly entrepreneurs, who have been creating beautiful pieces of art and crafts, and they get exploited by middlemen because there is no patronage or there is no market for these products. And then when I exited Indian Roots last year and I set up my own fund called Scale Ventures, which is a small SEBI-registered 100 crore fund where we invest in startups, I met this young Tamil boy in Coimbatore. He had created this lovely app. And he had tears in his eyes because he could not communicate with me. He knew only Tamil. He couldn't speak in English or Hindi, so he was speaking through an interpreter. And he's telling me, Anna, I know I've made something great. What do? I can't market it. And it is because of interactions like these that I decided to create a small community on the ground, not on the cloud, called the India Network. And for people who understand Bombay, I am, in a way, very inspired by the early days of Shiv Sena. Not what it is currently as a political party, but when Bala Saheb Thackeray was building Shiv Sena, it was a community on the ground which had a shakha on every nukkad. So my attempt is to try and build a community on the ground, especially focused on tier 2, 3, 4, 5 cities of India. Collect people who are startup guys, entrepreneurs, SMEs, all of these on a platform. Get them access to whatever it takes, be it mentors, be it funding, be it exposure. And for a lot of these people, it is not about money. You know, you give them a 50 lakh rupee check, they wouldn't know what to do with it. Sometimes it's all about giving them some sort of a little bit of advice, maybe some exposure and some guidance, and probably transform their lives. I have been fortunate enough to have some good friends, so I have about 100 mentors on the platform right now. And these are some of the bigger names like Pranay Chule, founder of Quicker, or Vishal Gundal of Goki, or Radhika Agarwal Ghai of Shop Clues, who are all happy to help youngsters, provided there is some filtering, provided there is a matchmaking, because we don't waste each other's time. The one biggest challenge I have found, especially in smaller towns of India, is 2 things. One is most of us don't understand the concept of mentoring. So most of these kids who come to me say, I want you to mentor me, but what they want is really just cut me a check and give me either funding, or you run my business for me, or you tell me what to do so that I become a $1 billion business. That's one. Second, I think media fundamentally is flawed in India. We only glorify funding news. So for most startups, even if they don't need funding, the only way they will get covered is if they raise a $100 million round of funding. और आजकल तो हालत ये है कि 100 million से नीचे funding ले ले तो कोई cover भी नहीं करता. The second thing I want to say is, again, when I was doing Indian Roots, I was in a building in Gurgaon called Iris Tech Park, and this young kid wrote me a message on Facebook and said, sir, I'm in the same building in a business center and I need you to mentor me. And I said, boss, मेरी अपनी वाट लगी हुई मैं अपना startup कर रहा हूँ, तेरे को कहाँ से mentoring करूँ? And he's like, just keep guiding. I said, okay, what do you do? He said, I'm from Odisha. I'm from a small town in Odisha. And I've dropped out of school and I want to do a startup. Okay. What do you do? It's something to do in the travel space. I said, okay. So we stayed in touch. After a few days, I realized this kid has been selected, the first kid from Asia to be selected for the Peter Thiel Scholarship. And for most of you who don't know, Peter Thiel is this Silicon Valley billionaire who pays $100,000 to young kids to drop out of school and become an entrepreneur. Because he genuinely believes that education in India spoils kids. Education globally spoils kids. So this kid got selected for it, went to Silicon Valley, got mentored by the biggest names in the startup ecosystem like Jeff Bezos and Mark Zuckerberg, and then comes back and says, I'm shutting down my startup. I said, Sale, abhi to tere ko kuch 60-70 lakh rupees mile hain. He said, but I have understood this is not going to scale. And then he set up another company, which again sort of didn't take off. And then one day he was kicked out of by his landlord because he couldn't afford to pay rent. So with 1 jeans and 2 t-shirts in a backpack, this kid started traveling across India, staying in dharamshalas and small budget properties, comes back and launches another startup, which is called Oyo Rooms. And this kid's name is Ritesh Agarwal. And of course, we all know he recently raised $250 million. Now, when I travel across, and he's from a very small town of India, he's not from any metro. He's a school dropout. So he's not an MBA, he's not an engineer from IIT. What does he have? So whenever I meet kids, I say the only thing you need in India to be an entrepreneur is, and I say it in Hindi, is one word called jazba. You have jazba, you have everything else. Everything else will fall in place. So my attempt at the India network is to try and find kids who have jazba and try and help them with everything else. So that's my story. Thank you so much. Just one announcement. So I'm partnered with these 4 awesome entrepreneurs in New York City, a lady called Marwa Allen, Sachin Narode, and Keon Wong. They do this boot camp every year on the outskirts of New York City. It's called Survive and Thrive Today. It's a 3-day boot camp where they have up to $1 billion in funding. They have one of the biggest investors of the ecosystem coming in. They have master classes, they have pitching sessions, they give you tips on how to write your pitch. And it's 300 entrepreneurs from across the world who come together for 3 days. It's September 8 to 11 in New York City. So when I met these people in New York, and I told them, how do you select these 300 people? So they said, we asked them to send us a video pitch, and if we like it, we select. So I told Marwa, I said, most of the kids in India, unfortunately, if they're that polished and articulate, you select them, why do they need you? The people who need you are people who are not articulate, right? They can't pitch a story. She said, yeah, makes sense. So what can we do? I said, I will go pick 20 kids from small towns of India. I will sponsor their entire journey. I'll pay the fee for the boot camp, which is about $3,000 and all of that. But you need to give me 20 slots. She said, done. So now we are running a small promo and a contest where we are going across India to select 20 rockstar entrepreneurs who have a lot of jazba and nothing else, and take them for this 3-day boot camp where they'll get mentored by people like Kevin Harrington and Damon Johnson of Shark Tank, and then Susie Carter and all these other guys. And then, of course, 2 more days in New York City, and then probably Bay Area and the usual Silicon Valley tour. And if Jay is kind enough, then probably some great food at some NRIs in the US. Yes, ma'am, I see you. So I don't know if you have time. We can just play a small video. The application is on the India Network site. So I would just request if you guys can pass it on the message to people who you think qualify and apply for this program. Can you just play it, please? And this was the toughest thing I did.
I'm Rahul Narvekar,
my director made me do like
founder and
17
CEO
retakes
of the
for
India
this.
Network.
So please
What's
bear
up,
with
it's Shark Damon John. Hi, I'm Kevin Harrington, original shark from the hit TV show Shark Tank.
India Network is a community which helps connect entrepreneurs with mentors and investors across the globe. I'm very happy to announce that the India Network is going across the country to tier 2, 3, 4, and 5 cities to find and discover rockstar entrepreneurs like you, to take you on a 3-day boot camp called Survive and Thrive just outside of New York City. This intimate event will be at the beautiful Club Gateway and will be followed by a visit to the rocking startup ecosystem of the Bay Area and of course Silicon Valley. During this once-in-a-lifetime experience, not only will you get a chance to meet investors from Silicon Valley, but also get a chance to compete for prizes and funding at Survive and Thrive, a 3-day boot camp for mission-driven entrepreneurs. On this trip, you'll also get to meet the original Shark Tank Shark, Kevin Harrington, my personal favorite.
I'm here to talk about you as an entrepreneur. And if you're an entrepreneur looking to take your business to the next level, then you want to meet us at Survive and Thrive.
Now, you may have heard my various TEDx talks and seen my story of how I went from the Mumbai slums to creating various multi-million-dollar companies. And you know that I'm very, very passionate about coming to you, especially in the smaller towns of India, and take you on this awesome journey. So if you believe you're ready to create an impact and make a difference, log on to the India Network site immediately and apply for the Survive and Thrive Bootcamp. See you in New York.
Join my good friend Kevin Harrington for 3 days of non-stop peak performance and masterminds at the Survive and Thrive Bootcamp for entrepreneurs coming up this fall.
That was great, Rahul. So this is what we were talking about. Oh, okay, all right. We come to the conclusion of this event, and the most awaited moment for, I'm sure, a lot of you, especially the startups. So we had some few close calls, and so the 7 which our founder, has chosen from the evaluation. All right, of course, I mean, this was purely on what these 4 jury had scored. I would like to invite our director, Mr. Jigesh Dharaya, to announce those 7, well, I will not say winners, but who qualify for this particular round, and there's always a next time for the rest, whom we can always continue the conversation post this challenge also. Yes, over to you.
Thank you, Amit Bhai. Good afternoon, everyone. Now, before I announce winner, I would like to thank you all the participants today, and also like to congratulate Startup team and our NRI Startup India team to make this event successful. Now, to add on, today's winner will get funding up to 50 lakh from NRI Startup India, subject to legal and
our capacity to see that they, excel and make it through. One more announcement that we have is this startup challenge is not just a one-time challenge. This is an ongoing series to help many more entrepreneurs across the landscape. We are announcing today that we want to, going forward, do series sectorial-wise. So we're sharing that the first challenge we'll do sector-wise will be fintech. Fintech is area where financial services and various other aspects related to finance, fintech, is disrupting the world over. There are a lot of things that are about to happen in the near future. Here in India, we are announcing that this series will carry on over the next 2 months. So if there are any friends, colleagues, startups in your outreach within the fintech, we'll be more than happy to receive those entrepreneurs who come forward. And within about 2 months or so, on the same platform, startup.com, we'll go ahead and have sort of a similar announcements being made as we have had today. Thank you very much. Once again, thanks all for coming to this event.
So this $1 million is for fintech based out of India, right? All right. Okay, so I mean, $1 million I think is a big kitty. I mean, unfortunately, I don't have a startup. Otherwise, I would have definitely started one. All right, and I don't know. I've never got deal with such jury. Why, where you going to lose that money? So. One thing which always, I mean, this is for all the jury and investors here. Startups when they present, alright, they always mention about competition, alright. How do we as investors know that what they mention is correct or not? It's true or not? So we have to actually go by what you guys say. Alright, so somebody says you are the top. So what I see is the ticks, they have all the ticks against the competition. And competition was short. The competitors by 2 or 3 ticks. So, is there a way that we as investors can do a check? Of course, due diligence is there. We all do diligence on financials, legal, but what about competition? So we go a lot by what you guys say. All right. So we believe that what you showcase, all right, is true. All right, but we really don't know. All right, because we think that you guys are the best. Alright, so I think we will be concluding. I'm going to thank you. Somebody who there, Abhishek, 91 Spring Road, you were so many guys, when they pitch, they also said we are the top guys. Alright, but we really don't know. And we get carried away. Wow, what a pitch, man. What an impressive guy. Jazba, yeah. But trust me, Jazba is where, if I start a startup, Jazba is the first thing that I'll get. And basis Jazba, I think I should get $1 million. Million, I don't think so. Yeah, so it's like आप ही पूछ लो वैसे है competition आप पूछ लो बता alright so I would like to thank Dheeraj from Time for helping us share this out and again as I stated when we began this conference that without time it's actually difficult and for me it's not possible to do an event in Ahmedabad at least because of time. In fact we got a lot of support from Time in other cities. But as I started my journey in this online
entrepreneurship, startup, and all that jazz that we are, are used to now. All right, so a very big thank to Rama, all right, for always coming forward. Last year there were few people who had interest in this ecosystem and you have to reach out to for any kind of help. All right, and a very big thank to the supporters. The long list, don't want to, bore you guys with all the names. But before we end that, I would like to invite you individuals to, felicitate our juries who've, given their time. All right, and especially Sushant, who's come down from Bombay, Rahul, who's come down from Delhi, and Professor Rao, he had to skip his classes, and he told me that, in fact, I was the second I have to go for a session at MICA. So let's quickly, I would like to invite Mihir Bhai to hand over memento to Professor Judy Rao. Yeah, memento please. Thanks a lot. All right, I'd like to invite Mr. Deepak Sharma to hand over memento to Mr. Rahul Navekar.
Some people in life you can't say no to. It's my son's 12th birthday, but I told him, Akshay, Uncle has called, please sit down.
I would like to invite Mr. Subhu, who's come down all the way from Hyderabad just for the city for us. I'd like to hand over the moment to Mr. Subhu. Look forward for many such challenges where there's a lot of money and hopefully there's some money for some of you and me also. And when we end up the year with some kitty. Alright guys, thank you so much. Alright, there's one once. Thank you so much, Doctor. Thanks a lot. So in fact, as I said, there are many good companies also. But their ask was high, so they could not follow this challenge. But yeah, we can always share. And of course, other investors who would want to look at a few other startups that we have in our kitty, we can of course share the details with you. And one last thing, Times of India has this initiative of investing in startups, which is called Brand Capital. Mr. Rahul is not here. Would you like to come and please, if you could just share about what. So it's not like about once here. Let's understand what Brand Capital would want to and is trying to do.
Good evening, guys. Brand Capital is a division of Bennett Collaborative Company Limited. Bennett, of course, is the parent company of media brands like Times of India, Economic Times, Times Now, several television channels, Radio Mirchi, IndiaTimes.com, Nana.com, etc., etc. So when we talk about Bennett, it's an entire ecosystem of media in India. And Brand Capital is a strategic investment arm and a branding arm of Bennett Collaborative Company Limited, which was conceptualized almost 12 years back to help companies with consumer-facing products or services create brands and connect with their audiences. So it's a kind of private equity arrangement wherein we invest in these companies and help them grow through not only through media currency but also through branding and communication expertise that Bennett has developed over a period of last 175 years. So through this initiative, we have invested in more than 800 companies across the country. These companies range from startups to billion-dollar enterprises. The common goal is that they want to create or strengthen brand, and they consider brand as one of the major inputs to our growth journey. Through this initiative, we are happy to engage with NI startup as well, and the companies which have been shortlisted by jury will also get an opportunity to explore getting 1 crore worth of media currency from Bennett Coleman and Company Limited, which can be used on any of the media properties that BCCL hold. So that's what brand capital is in nutshell. I don't want to stretch it as of now, it's already at the beginning of this event. But we would connect with all these shortlisted companies one-on-one once this event is over, and we'll take it forward there. Thank you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thanks a lot. And I guess this is one of, media plays a big role for every startup. And I'm sure what Brand Capital is doing would definitely help each and every startup. 1 crore kind of a media capital is a huge capital. Alright, so before we end up, I would like to thank the entire startup with a double team who have worked 24/7. The entire startup team which is sitting there. So can you have one big round of applause for this team who made this possible. Thank you so much. And also we can have one picture of all of you together over here. Thanks a lot. And then after this we move on for the team. Alright. So the startup team first. Akshay? Where's Akshay? Alright, can I have a nice startup India team on the dais please? Good team. So after we open for tea also, the tea is already served. So people don't move, they can move on. Thanks a lot, everybody. You are in Ahmedabad? No,